Would the Cockney speech of that time, of the 18th century, have sounded very much like the Cockney speech today? What would have characterised it?
Typical features would have been the alternation of th and th. So, for example, a pronunciation like Bath would have been very characteristic of Cockney of that time, as opposed to Bath, which would actually have been a much more refined pronunciation of what we now would say as Bath. So a lot of the markers shift their values at that time. Another very typical one, often regarded as a kind of vice of the Cockneys, as by John Walker in 1791, was the alternation of V and W. So a word like well would be pronounced as vel, for example. This was very much a living reality of Cockney speech throughout the late 18th century and into the 19th century.
But Cockney was regarded as uncouth, wasn't it? It was regarded as a sign of not being educated. It was looked down on.
No, Cockney was certainly regarded as uncouth. It was the speech, as another writer said, of the vulgar provincialists of the metropolis. I mean, it was something that was lacking the educated, literate proprieties which people regarded as the kind of norm to be aimed for.
Do you think, in the end, it was disabling to our society, that that's what so many people were concentrating on so very much?
There was certainly a kind of barrier generated by this, the image particularly of the accentless voice. I mean, obviously, the accentless voice is a kind of myth. Everyone has to speak with an accent. But this barrier erected between those who had managed to shed a regional accent and those who then had acquired what we call the non-localised accent, an accent that didn't reveal your place of birth. And this set up quite a sort of problematic fault line in society, which people strove to try and cross.
You should have put your writing boots on.
In 1851, the journalist Henry Mayhew identified a new kind of London talk, a cadger's cant, done on the rhyming principle.
So now you go, the old China.
Yeah.
All right?
Tell you what, I was elephants last night.
Oh, the Brahms are this again.
I'm just going to go round the Jack Horner.
All right?
You ain't got any pie mash, have you?
My mash, I lent you a cockle last night. I can't give you cuds.
Deep sea diver?
No, not today, mate. Travel with you on that old Amos again. Virulin mix.
What can I say? I'm going down to Frog and Toad.
And beach on, keep out the battle cruiser and stay up the Amos.
All right.
Cockney rhyming slang became the most relished characteristic of Cockney. Its wit and innuendo still give it life today.
Dinky doos, cues. Mushroom would be Bobby Crush mash. Grape would be airy oak. Donkey barrow marrow. Like you say with the trousers, like Lionel Blair's flares, Claire Anus trainers, City Slickers knickers, Eartha Kits, tits.
Slang is a code, a way of a group speaking to itself without being understood by the rest of society, so it's constantly reinvented. In Victorian times there were many such codes where hidden meanings could flout conventional respectability, and one of them was found in a music hall. Mary Lloyd was once criticised by the moral watchdogs for singing "She sits among the cabbages and peas." She responded by changing the words to "She sits among the cabbages and leeks."